What's up, everybody? My name is Tam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because it's hard to find, and if you lose it, you may never find it again. And we're going to be talking about narcissists and borderlines and personality disorders and all kinds of things to try to help each other to understand the disorders better. Why is it important to block the rage? What if you have a borderline in your life and they are acting really clingy and super needy, and you tell them, look, I don't have time for that right now. You're going to have to meet your own needs. You're going to have to figure out your own way. You're going to have to figure out how to meet, whatever is bothering you, you got to figure it out because I'm not going to put up with that. I'm just not going to tolerate that. You could trigger the person into a rage. The person might not be strong enough to adhere to your words and actually do what you say. They may test you, or they may feel too needy, too empty at that moment. When I was talking to somebody else who understands BPD, they were telling me there are so many children right now. I mean, think about what happened with the pandemic. It shut down schools, so a lot of the kids are not as adjusted as they were before. There's a lot more crying, a lot more attachment issues, separation anxiety, a lot of that going on. And even, the person said, what about the adults? Adults, they may not have BPD, but since the pandemic, it sort of woke up this place in people where they feel like, I just need to be around people. I don't want to isolate anymore. Sometimes borderlines may target one person. So the person that they're reliant upon might get the brunt of the person's anger, anxiety, frustration. If it's a husband or wife, they may take out all of their aggressions, their frustrations, their irritations. They will take that out on the very person that they need the most, the person that they are most reliant upon for companionship, for help, for we're in this together, for can you do this errand or drive here or help me with this situation. They're actually beating down the very person that they're dependent upon. And that is a horrible, terrible thing to do. But it is their defense mechanism. It's like, okay, what's really going on? The person may say, I want to go hang out with my friends for a little bit, or I'm going to go and do a hobby outside of the house. And it creates tension, frustration, because why are you leaving? Where are you going? Why can't you stay here? And they may not say those words, but they may start just boxing the person, finding all kinds of reasons to put the person down, to make people hate the person. And that is counterproductive in so many ways. So the number one thing I think that a borderline can do when they are raging at people and irritated, they may need some type of medication. I can't prescribe somebody medication, and I'm not saying that that's the number one thing that you should definitely do, but I do think that you should talk to somebody, a psychiatrist, a doctor, something to calm down that energy. I know of somebody who is potentially a borderline who said that they've started taking, what is it, melatonin? I think that's what they said, which you can get over the counter. And that I can see the difference. Like they're a lot calmer. They're not raging as much. They're not irritated, angry, finding something to attack their favorite person over all the time. Like it's really quieted down their energy. And I can see the piece of the person that I really enjoy, that I really love, that the conversations are much clearer, much better, easier. It's like, okay, like I can see your personality coming through. But before that, it was just tons of always angry, dissatisfied, frustrated, always on 10, talking really fast, just mad, mad, mad. You had to walk on eggshells because, oh, I don't want to make this person angry. And this isn't somebody that I can just say, okay, well, I'll just never speak to you again. It's more complicated than that. So I think if you are a borderline, you need to figure out something to calm your energy down, because you may not be aware of how you're coming across, but it can be really difficult to deal with somebody who is on 10 and they're not taking any type of medication or anything to calm that energy down. And I know some people will disagree with me and say that borderline shouldn't take anything. But if you're always agitated and irritated, it helps to take the edge off in a healthy and prescribed way. Some borderlines will start picking on the person, picking on people, or cracking jokes on people that are really mean, or just doing really tough, difficult, mean-spirited things to certain people to get their energy out. And that is not okay. Elevation Behavioral Health said that poor emotional regulation, being unable to control an impulsive urge to lash out, having a fragile ego, and the inability to manage impulse control could be the reason why somebody with BPD rages at you. And I was talking to somebody who's a counselor and works in the schools, and they were giving me an example about how there was a girl who refused to take off her hoodie. You know, the kids love to wear those hoodies and they like to pull it over their heads. And so it was just a big fight with the girl the entire day, with administrators, with teachers telling her to take it off. And she just started having tantrums and talking back and acting crazy. And I'm not taking this off, and fighting and arguing with them the whole entire day. And she said when she talked to the girl, like a couple of days later, she said, you know, what is the deal with the hoodie? You still have it on. Do you think that's a good idea? And she said, well, no, I do keep still wearing it. And she said, well, what happens when you wear it in the hallways? And she said, I get confronted by the adults and they tell me to take it off. And she said, well, what about in the classrooms? Do the teachers tell you to take it off? No, they usually leave me alone. So she said, so how about you compromise? Why go through all this trouble? I mean, if in class they don't really say anything, put it on. But when you're in the hallway, you know it's going to cause an issue and cause commotion and attention that you don't want. So just take it off for that couple of minutes when you're in the hallway. And she said for some reason that calmed the girl down, and she said, okay, I'll do it. Because the hoodie is bringing her comfort. She's not doing it just because, oh my gosh, I just want to be difficult. No, it's bringing her comfort. It's soothing her. It's giving her an emotional support, but it's against the school rules. So why else do people go into rages? So verywellmind.com said emotionally challenging situations that are seen as threatening. So you could say that that girl saw her situation as threatening, like you're taking something away from me. A situation where they fear abandonment. So maybe having the hoodie makes her feel comfort against the feeling of abandonment. Very Well Mind says that BPD splitting, people are all good or all bad. People will often do that in husband-wife, girlfriend-boyfriend situations where the person does one thing and it triggers them into, you are a horrible, terrible, rotten person, and that's where I'm keeping you. It doesn't matter how many favors you're doing for me, how loving you are, how much you help me. I have put you in a horrible light because you triggered an abandonment fear, and now you are a terrible person. Or I wanted you to take me to the mall and you didn't, so now you are horrible even though you took me to the mall the next day. It doesn't matter. I hate you now. And so that can trigger a rage in the person. So it's, you got to look at it from case by case. Sometimes they're just not getting their needs met. But that's how borderlines push people away and end up alienating people. So we don't want them to do that, do we? We want them to channel their frustrations in something that is positive. So some ideas would be, you can make pottery, you can create jewelry that matches your outfit, You can try scrapbooking, use a coloring app. I love adult coloring. I feel like it really does something that is soothing. So you can also buy an adult coloring book or even a kid coloring book. Make your own wall art, create a new recipe, because borderlines are generally very creative people. So channel that rage into something positive that you can actually enjoy. It doesn't have to just be work, 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 work. I'm figuring out how to not be mean. Channel that energy when you start to feel irritated. And one of the people that follows me put a fantastic comment in my comment section, and I'm probably not quoting it exactly, but they said something like they have learned to suppress their irritation and anger. Let's say they're at a family gathering, they've learned to suppress that and for the sake of the people around them, and then they can let out the irritation once they have left, which doesn't make them feel totally better. But to me, it's smart if you can hold it in and then figure out a way outside of that situation. Because now, if you rage at the people, they might not want to talk to you for weeks. And now everybody's upset. So, good job to that person. If you're having difficulty in your relationships or you just want to elevate your relationships, check out my book, Flip the Script on Love by Tamara Hunter Zyon. I'll put the link in the description box because we want everybody to have a loving, fulfilling relationship, and something in there might actually help you to think a little bit differently about relationships. So thanks for hanging out. Please like the video so that we can help more people. And I will see you guys hopefully on the next video. Bye, wonderful people.